Big Ray Hernandez, Jamie the Vet Williams. This is your Next Level Wrestling Review. Presented by Hameen Media Group and ChannelAttitude.com. And we are NXT! Good morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, and good night, depending on whenever the hell you're listening to this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Next Level Wrestling Review. We're supposed to have a guest. He's trying to work his way on right now, so let's be patient. Calm down, guys. Relax. Calmate. What do they say with the wrestler? Yes. Relax. Chill. Okay, anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who I am the reporter, the people, the man on the planet, Big Ray, here to stay. To talk some lucha libre, which is your Spanish lesson for wrestling today. And ladies and gentlemen, I am not alone. I'm here with my 27-time, yes, ladies and gentlemen, he's won this title 27 times, Ohio Valley hot dog eating champion. It's true. It's damn true. Yeah, it's very true. Anyway, if you didn't know, the vet has munched on some of the finest sausages on the East and West Coast. Ladies and gentlemen, he is my co-host, the vet.
Yeet.
He's a Rip Rogers guy. It's true. The vet. Vet. Rip Rogers guy. Ladies and gentlemen, number 27 in the contest, but number 1 in your heart. He is the one, the only, a Rip Rogers guy. It is the vet, Jamie Williams. What is going on, big man?
I'll tell you what's going on, Big Ray. Apparently, according to you, we got our time cut today, so we're going to have to make adjustments on the fly. So I'm not going to waste any time in introducing another OVW champion, an actual OVW champion. As a matter of fact, this guy is the owner, proprietor, and co-host of Lilas Studios, which is responsible for bringing you Wrestling with Rip Rogers live every Friday at the concrete time of whenever they feel like it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my good friend Vaughn Lilas.
Thanks, man. Is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes, hold on.
That's a catchphrase, by the way. For anybody that doesn't watch Wrestling with Rip Rogers, that's a Vaughn Lilas catchphrase.
Well, I was really kind of wondering, but it is a catchphrase as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on, Mr. Wagner? Mr. Wagner. I was just Von Wagner. And shit. I'm going to get chopped in there. Anyway, what's going on there, Von? How's everything going?
You called me the last name the last time, the wrong name the last time I was on here.
No, I did not. Would you stop?
I believe so.
I did really?
I think so. I think it was the same. I think it was the same damn name you just said, actually.
It might have been.
This is a fantastic start to the program.
All good. So
ready to roll, man. I just finished NXT. Well, most of it anyway. So I'm all set and ready to go.
Poor bastard.
Sorry about that, my friend. All right. So listen, we're only going to talk. Listen, here's the deal. Usually at this time, I acknowledge everybody. We don't have too much time to acknowledge everybody. So you have all been acknowledged. We love you. We appreciate you. We thank you for being here live. Obviously, you know, your gimmicks will come up on the screen and everything like that. But ladies and gentlemen, we have one topic we're going to talk about today on our favorite segment of the show. And ladies and gentlemen, what is that? It is the 3 count. This is the 3 count. With the latest breaking news in pro wrestling, sports, pop culture, and more. Now, back to Big Ray and the Vet. All right, so here's the deal, guys. As the vet knows, and I just wanted to let you know, Vaughn, I have a dentist appointment. I got to get a new tooth put in. So this is why I'm running out of here at 12. There you go. See? Is that real? Or is that
it's gone. It's a real hole in my mouth, yeah.
I got a real hole in my mouth as well, and my head. So I got to get out of here at 12:30 sharp. So with that being said, we're going to talk about one topic, and I cannot wait to hear you guys' thought processes on this. But before we do that, I would love you. I don't usually do this, but I would love you to plug and promote what you do with Rip Rogers on a daily basis or bi-daily, or when you
mean this thing's an hour and a half long and that's short? Holy shit! I didn't know what I was signing up for.
You got no idea, brother. Go ahead.
Wrestling with Rip Rogers on YouTube. That's it, man. That's all I got to plug. Wrestling with Rip Rogers. Go to YouTube right now. Subscribe. We do a weekly show, as the vet said, a concrete time of every Friday, unless it's Thursday night. Every Friday. Now it's typically at 11 o'clock. It was noon Eastern, but somehow Rip has changed that the last 3 weeks. He got confused. So now it's at 11 o'clock every Friday, 11 Eastern, that is. Live, baby, on YouTube, Wrestling with Rip Rogers.
Well, he's kind of earned
I like
that,
that
right?
time.
Right,
I like that. I like that new
Good.
concrete time. It works better for me, actually.
Nice. Well,
yeah.
All right. Well, cool, man.
Yeah, I just want to say, right here publicly in front of everybody, what a great job that you've been doing with the channel. I mean, I was obviously the #1 member of the channel. So I was there from the very beginning. Remember when the background was all pink and garish and nobody was watching and there was only 37 subscribers. I think I was 36.
There you go.
Yeah, and just everything that you've done to grow the channel and just keep bringing new people in and coming in. I got to give it up to you, my friend. I'm really proud of it. I mean that.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. It means a lot. It's not an easy thing to do. Obviously, you guys are fully aware of that. So I'm trying to keep things new, keep things fresh. Like you said, get new guests on here every week. I might as well just plug. They have been on before. At least one of them has. This Friday, we have the Outrunners. I know you've got some heat.
Oh, that's
I know
awesome.
you have some heat with the Outrunners there, Vet, but, we got the I'm just
I don't
kidding.
recall.
We've got both Outrunners, Turbo and Floyd, I think, this week on Friday.
Nice.
Should be on at noon. They'll be on noon Eastern. So, yeah, we had Scott Armstrong on a couple weeks. It was really cool. Recently, we've had Les Thatcher on, too, so it was real cool. So we get the old, we get the new, everybody in between. So, yeah, it's cool, man. Have a lot of fun with it. It's a lot of work, as you know, like I said, but it's a lot of fun, and we're going to keep plugging along.
Now, Ray can tell you, everyone here in the chat can tell you, they know that at the end of every show, when I'm doing my plugs, I always make sure to mention that. And I tell them about the amazing string of guests and interviews that you've had for the past couple of months now, It all came to a crashing halt this past Friday with the Ron DeShane episode, but every other one before that, starting with Mark Henry, went on just an incredible streak until... the eventual, Scott Hall with the cattle prod and all that.
Yeah, that's
this past Friday, but that's okay. You can't win them all.
I will definitely throw Rip Rogers under the bus on that one. I'm not scared to do so.
I was watching your face the whole time,
and that's all there is to it. So
I was watching Vaughn's face the whole time. It's just like
I talked. I probably didn't say a word for about 30 straight minutes at one point in time on Friday.
Well, I mean, the guy has so much wisdom.
Well,
all right. Yeah. New topic.
New topic.
All
Ray, you said we had a topic for us.
We have a topic this week, and this is the topic. So it's been going around the internets that the CEO and owner, is he CEO? I don't know. Fucking the guy that owns AEW, Tony Khan, cannot take his hand off of his smartphone. He cannot stop tweeting for some reason, and apparently this gentleman believes that pro wrestling is real in some sense of record or whatever. They keep records and stuff. Let me just show you guys really quickly what I'm talking about. Just yesterday, and I'm going to share this page, this gimmick here with you guys. Tony Khan goes on a bit of a Twitter rant. As you can see here, it says, I'm gonna try to do my best, Tony Khan, okay, if I can. Tony Khan tweets, "A double standard at 7:30. Hook 28-1 record on a winning streak calls out the champ. Illogical challenge sparks online outrage. Jinder has literally lost every single match he's in for the past year. Immediately gets title shot. Where's the rage? Hashtag Dynamite. Hashtag tomorrow on TV. The fuck is this guy talking about, Vaughn?
I don't know. I love Tony Khan personally, so we just helped get Deonna Purrazzo a job. We're trying to get the Outrunners full-time job. I can't say too much bad about the guy. I'd love to have him on the show sometime, but yeah, I get it. I didn't realize, I guess, there was that much outrage that Hook challenged the champion or whatever. I just started picking up where you're putting this out there right now. Start seeing it all over Twitter, all over everywhere. I don't know, dude. He needs a PR team, I would say, or to get off his phone or whatever. But you can't fault the guy's passion, I guess. He really wants it to work. He really loves pro wrestling, I think, or whatever you want to call it now. I don't really think it's pro wrestling per se, but yeah, I mean, come on, man. Just could you imagine like Vince McMahon going and doing something like that? That's kind of what I always compared to. And I know times have changed, but I don't know. Was there that much outrage on the Hook deal?
Well, apparently there was. But here's the thing. people say, well, I can't imagine Vince McMahon doing stuff like that. But in fact, he did. If you think about it. Yeah, sure. At a time when there wasn't social media, they did it on air. Like skits, like the Billionaire Ted skits.
Oh, yeah. But I don't know. I don't know if I compare those two to be quite the same. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, he did.
Well, Vet, Jinder Mahal actually. So there was a back and forth between a lot of the talent. You had guys and gals, tuning, go Hook, and who the fuck is Hook? And it was going back and forth. As a matter of fact, Jinder Mahal himself jumped in there and he tweets, and I quote, "Who the fuck is Hook?" Watch Monday Night Raw, and this, for some reason, this was the burn of all burns. The internets went crazy for our Maharaja Jinder Mahal going at Hook. Apparently Taz got at him. Everybody went, what is going on with these grown men tweeting at each other angrily over wins and losses in professional wrestling and titles and stuff? I don't get what's going on, Vet. I don't understand.
Oh, I think they call it bitter old guys trying to be relevant. I believe that's basically what's going on. I'll tell you what, one thing I definitely didn't get into podcasting to do is talk about Tony Khan's tweets. And yet here I am for the umpteenth time having to address what this guy does on Twitter, which I never hear about until I'm on a show and somebody asks me what I think about it. What do I think about it? I think that it's perpetuated by the fans. Fans tweet ridiculous shit at Tony Khan.
That's fair. Then
he responds that he's getting attacked, and then they attack him for saying that he's attacked. That's basically what this is. If people just ignored it, he probably wouldn't be tweeting stuff like this. He probably wouldn't care about Jinder Mahal's win-loss record. And then once he does it, then everybody jumps on him again. And then it's just a cycle. And it's really just kind of, I don't know. I don't really have much insight into this, nor do I care. So
that's very fair. I just thought, you know what, it's the number one thing going on, viral wise, and might as well fucking throw it out there. Colin Weishong jumps in and says, Von Lilas, can you chop Big Ray for the fans? And he can't do that. He's on a computer. He's not next to me. So
maybe one day.
No, I'm not. No, I don't want to experience being hit with a bat across my chest. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. It is time. It's all right. It's okay. What are you changing the colors back there?
Change some lights over here. Go ahead. Go ahead with the show, man. Don't worry about me.
It's so fucking cool. I mean, it's like actually literally cool. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Yeah, I know we're going through this fast, but what we want to do is we want to actually focus in on we have Von Lilas here, former OVW World Heavyweight Champion. So who better to break down the future of this pro wrestling?
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Pause.
What?
We're not going on a this day in history type. You don't have a this day in history pulled up?
I mean, I could. Would you like me to?
Yeah, we're not that big of a time crunch now.
Oh, so fuck it. Ladies and gentlemen, why don't we go back in time? Son of a bitch. To this day in professional wrestling history. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are jumping into the time machine. You know how we do. And we're jumping into the Pro Wrestling Reflection time machine. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have that on loan from the Professor Chalbella de la Cruz and Tommy Wonder. We're going back. It is January 10th of 19-something. And we're going to go all the way back, ladies and gentlemen, to Memphis, Tennessee. 1983. Vaughn, how does that music hit
Love
your
it.
heart?
Love it.
Oh, my gosh. Good times, right, brother? Memphis, Tennessee. Nick Bockwinkel defeated Jerry Lawler to win the vacant AWA World Heavyweight Championship. The belt had been vacated the previous month. Vet, let's go to Vet first. Vet, you know, I think you know that I'm a huge fan of Nick Bockwinkel, very underappreciated superstar and the lure of professional wrestling. Your thoughts on this incredulous feud?
Yeah, well, I was like 2, so I didn't see it.
Yeah,
but
okay.
what was the event that this happened on? Did they
Just-
say, was this the,
Also like
which one was it one of the
backyard
super
somewhere.
clashes? Is that what AWA did? Or, you know, like one of those things? I don't know. But to your point about Nick Bockwinkel being, you know, you being a big fan of his, could Nick Bockwinkel be the most underrated wrestler of all time? Probably just because he really was mostly just in the AWA as a performer. And then anytime he showed up in, you know, WCW or whatever, it was in like a figurehead capacity, like he wasn't wrestling anymore. But just as that sort of like prototype, real athlete, intelligent champion, you know, yeah, he pulled that off as well or better than anyone else. And just because it was very regional, I don't think people really appreciate how good Nick Bockwinkel was.
Your thoughts, Vaughn?
Well, I can tell you, so I grew up with Memphis wrestling, so it was my Channel 3 wrestling every Saturday. I'm a lot older than the Vet, so I was probably, I don't know, I'm 50 now. What are you, Vet? 40? I mean, do we tell our age on this show?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
sure.
I'm about to be 43 pretty soon.
Okay,
I'll
so
be
48.
So we're
All
right
right,
here.
so I grew up on Memphis wrestling every Saturday morning, Channel 3 wrestling. So when they would do things like this, you know, the AWA title and things like that, and bring like a Flair in or Nick Bockwinkel in, he wasn't like a Memphis wrestler, you know, so he was from the outside. But before all this, they would always show all these, you know, video packages and matches he was having in AWA and promos and everything else. So they had talked him up so much. You just think he is, you guys say underrated. Me as a kid think Nick Bockwinkel is going to be the greatest wrestler ever. And basically Jerry Lawler has no chance type of thing is the way I would see it when I was a kid. So I never looked at him as being underrated because I always thought he was very good. You know what I mean?
Well, I was going to jump in and say that I use the term underappreciated.
Underappreciated. What? Yeah. Okay. Maybe
that's what I mean.
There.
I'm talking about now looking back, people aren't appreciating him. Of course, in the time people knew. Yeah.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I agree with that. 100%. Yeah.
No doubt. Let's fast forward. Because nothing happened. Apparently nothing happened January 10th for the next 11 years. Nothing in pro wrestling happened. Pro wrestling stopped. There was nothing of any type of importance. But in 1994, Monday Night Raw celebrated its 1-year anniversary in Richmond, Virginia. The opening match saw 1-2-3 Kid and Marty Jannetty defeat the Quebecers. That's Jacques and Pierre. Can you believe one of those guys is still actually wrestling? To win the WWF tag. Wait a second. I don't remember this. To win the WWF Tag Team Championships. Vaughn, 1-2-3 Kid and Marty Jannetty. Underappreciated tag team?
I never knew they were a tag team.
Neither did I. What the fuck?
This is a blind spot for my wrestling fandom. The early 90s here.
Holy shit.
I had no idea. No.
I had absolutely no idea they were a tag team champ, but apparently they happened. But let's fast forward again. 4 more years, okay? Again, nothing happened the next 4 years. ECW presented House Party 1998 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In the main event of the show, the Sandman defeated Sabu in a Stairway to Hell match. Now, why would it be a Stairway to Hell? Well, I guess, yeah, you could take a stairway down. During the bout, Sabu suffered a broken jaw. I'm going to go first to Vaughn again. Vaughn, have you ever suffered a broken jaw during a match, and have you ever been in the ring with either one of these two gentlemen?
I have not. No, I don't know about the jaw thing. I've maybe thought I had it one time, but I've never had it checked out. I only met the Sandman like once or twice when I was an extra in WWE or F or whatever it was at the time. Sabu, I've seen up close and personal a couple different times. Talked to him, sat with him, hung out with him, so to speak, but never ever in the ring with him. No, nor did I ever really want to be.
Okay,
to
fair.
be honest.
Very fair. Vet, your thoughts on this amazing match between these two in-ring technicians?
I don't recall it, but I'm quite sure that Media M5 was front row center and recording it, and he's probably also got the master tapes at his house.
Yes.
Right now. So if anybody needs a copy of this match, Media M5 is in the chat right now. Just send him a message in one of his many accounts on social media.
And $4 Canadian, all right?
He's American.
Yeah, but it's $4 Canadian, though.
Okay.
1999, we fast forward. We're going to Kissimmee, Florida, one of my very favorite places in the world. Kissimmee, Florida. ECW held their pay-per-view, Guilty as Charged. On the show, let's run down this card really quickly. We have Axel Rotten and Balls Mahoney defeating Danny Doring and Roadkill, and the FBI, Little Guido and Tracy Smothers in a 3-team elimination match. I'm going to go right over to Vaughn. Vaughn, your thoughts on Roadkill and how underrated this man is?
I got nothing bad to say about Roadkill. He got he did me well in OVW when he came back, or I don't know why he was there. He went to OVW to, what was he doing, Vet? You were probably there at the time. Weren't you booking, going on the weekend shows, all that kind of stuff? Roadkill always did good with me. And
yeah, he
drove me every weekend to 4th Street Live and was my DD, even though I don't think he was sober, but he was still my DD almost every weekend to go out and party. So nothing bad to say about Roadkill. I've actually watched some of his old stuff. I've seen lately where he's been actually sharing some of it on Facebook. So, watched a little bit of it. ECW was never my thing, but nothing bad to say about Roadkill, man.
All right,
I like the guy.
So after WWE pulled up stakes and left town, I believe he was in charge of the house shows and everything, and helping Danny with running the business after that. And there was this weird period where there were a lot of guys that had either gotten released from the WWE or whatever that were just sort of like, I guess they were coming back like to OVW just to show like how good sports they were or something, or get back in the good graces. Like they were all trying to get their job back. And I remember for some strange reason, like maybe you can add some insight to this, but I remember Roadkill, like he completely changed his gimmick. No longer Amish. He used to be bald with a long beard. He started growing his hair out and shaved the beard. He started wrestling in trunks like he was Stone Cold Steve Austin or something, which, he did not have the body for that. But there was just like a lot of weird stuff like that going on. And I really don't know what it was. Maybe it was a rib or something. I don't know. But that's mostly what I remember about the time, other than, yeah, he seemed like a nice enough guy. I don't think I interact with him nearly as much as you did.
I think you're at a wrong time period there. I think he was under contract at that time. He went up.
Oh, yeah.
And Vince, the story I always heard, Vince met him, and Vince loved him on like camera or ECW or whatever. Vince met him in person. The story I heard, and Roadkill was not nearly as tall, big. Vince thought he was more of a monster. Met him, he was like, what, 5'10", 6 foot maybe? Mm-hmm. And Vince was like, holy shit, this isn't the guy maybe I went to wrestle The Undertaker. He was then back down at OVW as like Braddock when he did the hair gimmick. He had the chops. He had trunks on. He was still under contract at that time.
Okay, so I'm getting the timeline mixed up.
Yeah, once he got released, he came back and just started hanging out and doing work with Danny. And he quit wrestling, though, because he got his neck all fucked up. And Joey Matthews was wrestling and booking like the TV, and Roadkill was doing all the weekend shows. And so I would go with, it was always like me and Blair Moan and maybe Victor every once in a while, but we would always ride with Joey and Roadkill. So they did all the weekend shows, but Joey would actually wrestle and Roadkill didn't.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yes, it's coming back to me now.
We will continue to run down this card really quickly. We have Tajiri. He defeated Super Crazy, which must have been an incredible match there. Sid, yes, that's Sid, the master and ruler of the world, defeated John Cronus. We have the Dudley Boys, who defeated New Jack and Spike Dudley. Rob Van Dam defeated Landstorm to retain the ECW Television Championship. Just Incredible defeated Tommy Dreamer in a Stairway to Hell match. Another one? Am I missing something? Anyway, Taz defeated Shane Douglas by submission to become the ECW World Heavyweight Champion.
Who the fuck is Taz?
Who the fuck is Taz? Your thoughts on Shane Douglas, Vet? I know you're a huge Shane Douglas guy.
No, you don't know that.
Oh,
I don't know. Shane Douglas was a guy that really just told everybody how good he is, to the point that I guess we all just started believing it. But like every time I go back and look at like Shane Douglas matches and stuff from that era, or any other era from Handsome Babyface era in WCW, or Dean Douglas era, which was like a couple of weeks in WWF, or basically at any point I look at Shane Douglas, like when I watch it, my eyes would glaze over and I would just immediately start to think, my mind would just drift. Never really got it, but I have no, I'm glad that he's doing better now. He cleaned up and, got back on the, the right path. But as a entertainer, no, I would say I was the opposite of a huge Dean Douglas fan or Shane Douglas fan.
Vaughn, some people have some negative feelings towards Taz. Some people have some positive feelings towards Taz. I've never met anybody that's had any negative, interactions with Taz. Your thoughts on Taz as a human being, man? He's been putting in some great work, I think, honestly, on AEW television for the last couple of years. I used to actually love him on SmackDown, and I actually really thought he was really great on TNA. I thought Taz had one hell of a career, and it still has one hell of a career as a broadcaster. Your thoughts on Taz, man?
I don't know him one bit. I don't think I've ever met the guy. I think he's good on the commentary. I liked him on SmackDown as well. I like him on AEW too. I think he tries to keep it, real, but he doesn't go overboard. I think he calls everything great. I like everything about Taz behind the mic personally. Like I said, I didn't really watch AEW. When he came to WWE, just another one of those guys that just looked way too little for this guy I heard all about, being the submission, Tasmanian devil and submission machine and all that kind of stuff. Just didn't really do it for me in the ring, but I like him on commentary.
Yeah, man. Well, let's fast forward. It's the year 2000, and it's WCW Nitro. This was in Buffalo, New York. It would be Bret Hart's. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this. Bret Hart's final match, if you guys remember this, as a full-time wrestler due to the post-concussion syndrome as a result of a super kick from, it was more of a savate kick from Goldberg a few years earlier. On the show, Hart and Kevin Nash fought to a no contest. I go to Vet first. Vet, you were a teenager at this time, right? You were pretty young, probably watching WCW, and when you heard that Goldberg injured Bret Hart to a point that he could never wrestle again, did it affect you anyway?
I don't remember what I thought at the time. I know that when it happened, I don't think we knew just how serious it was. Obviously, it would take some time before we realized that he'd never wrestle again. But yeah, I mean, you see how long guys wrestle into their careers now, as Sting is preparing to finally wrap it up, and a guy like a Bret Hart could have figured out a way to, work, well into his later years, without, taking the beating that a lot of these guys do, because he was such a smart wrestler. So we were robbed of probably a lot of good stuff over the years. And he's, he's never going to let anybody forget that, because anytime that he talks about, Goldberg or whatever, then this sort of thing, this incident comes up, but yeah, it's a shame we were all robbed of more Bret Hart.
I mean, well, Vaughn, like with modern technology, if this happened now, maybe we do have Bret Hart for an extra 10 years. Did you have any thoughts during that time when you noticed, oh snap, Bret Hart is not going to be able to wrestle again?
I didn't really know. I mean, what got me was when so Bret Hart was always in, when he was in WWF, he was always in fantastic shape. He was never like huge jacked up guy, but he was always in great shape, looked good, moved well. I felt bad when he came back. I don't know if you guys remember when he came back and had like a couple matches. It could have been a gimmick match against Vince or something.
Mhm.
And he had like baggy jean shorts on and he had like a hockey jersey on or something. And I just thought, man, and he moved kind of weird. Like his legs didn't look like they quite worked all right or something. And that's when I felt like bad. I was like, God, man, like this is Bret Hart. He looks like shit in there. And this is the guy that used to look great, move great, wrestled great. And I don't know. It was kind of sad at the time seeing him try to do that. So that kind of made me think, man, yeah, we missed a lot with Bret Hart, but I didn't really realize it until he did that little run. You guys remember what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. We have a comment from all the way from Israel. Our friend Aaron Ben Shlomo. He says, "Do you think Goldberg hit him hard intentionally? According to some people, he planned to hurt. What is it? He planned to hurt Russo. What? So can it be a pop? Maybe he that's a typo. I don't think he did it on purpose. Any of you guys have any belief that Goldberg would try to take somebody out of their career? No, right?
I wouldn't think so.
No, I don't think so. I don't think Goldberg's a bad person. I mean, I don't know him personally, but I don't think. Nah. Anyway, all right. Let's fast forward. We got two more little tidbits here. We have 2018 at Impact Wrestling taping. Austin Aries defeated Eli Drake to win the Impact Global title. What? Global? Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but this is when Jeff Jarrett had taken over Impact Wrestling, or TNA at the time, turned it into Impact. What was it called?
Global Force Wrestling.
GWF. Yes, their first enormous. I think I remember this, Vaughn. They had this huge event. Their first event was at a baseball stadium with like 30 people.
Yeah.
Do you remember that time in wrestling when Jeff Jarrett took back the company that he built?
I mean, yeah, I do. I remember all the promo videos coming out. They had a really cool like 5-minute video to music and highlights, and man, it just looked like $1 million. And then it was like eight months later, and it still wasn't like a thing yet. They played like the same video for like a year. Like, this thing's coming. It's going to be the greatest thing ever. And then, like you said, they did a couple shows, empty stadiums. But I don't know if you remember, Vet. There was some Ben Hameen's guys. Ali and what's his name work for. There's a couple OVW guys Khalil. They had a tag match at that show, and I think there was another tag team or somebody else from OVW that signed with them or whatever and worked that first show. You don't remember Khalil and Ali doing that show?
I do. I remember hearing about it now that you say it. And that's because, there was a period of time there where Impact kind of turned to OVW, for a little bit, to try to use them as a farm system too. I don't really remember exactly the time frame of that or how much they got out of it. Also, am I misremembering this, or did Global Force have a bunch of shows and stuff they shot in the can that no one's ever seen? Mm-hmm. Because they brought in let's say, I think it was Chael Sonnen, right? They brought him in to do commentary and maybe run an angle or something, work an angle, but that's never seen the light of day. I don't remember watching any wrestling matches with Chael Sonnen commentary over it. So, maybe that stuff is still out there somewhere. Maybe Jeff has it. I don't know, but did that ever get played anywhere?
So Media M5 says that he actually helped with the promotion side of this of that company, and he says, yes, Vet, they still have that library, over 16 shows. Wow.
Well, Well, give me it. Give me the library.
Yeah,
just email it to me.
Can you hand that over? We could do like a live reaction thing on channelattitude.com.
Stevie Richards needs footage to break down.
Poor Stevie.
No one's going to claim that.
Maybe you won't get a trademark on that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable how YouTube. Oh, speaking of YouTube, just in case we get knocked off of this channel for some reason, Vaughn, I don't know what the hell's going on, but for some reason we keep getting knocked off this channel. We have to go to my personal YouTube channel. So if we get knocked off this channel, just head over to Big Ray Hernandez on YouTube. I have it as a backup. We can go. We'll continue to stream live there, and you can watch the whole replay there. Okay. Anyway, now let's finish off here. It is the year 2020. I don't even know what the hell this is, but here we go. PCW Ultra Anniversary 2020 in well, I don't know, in Wellington, whatever, California. I don't know.
That city doesn't exist. Look, I know everybody that lives out here, and there's no city named Willington.
I swear to God, that's what it says. Ruby Reyes winning the PCW Ultra Women's title over Sumi Sakai. Doug James. Do you know any of these names?
I've got no comment.
Dom Kubrick. How about Jake Atlas? I know Jake Atlas.
Yeah, Jake Atlas. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was in a triple threat match there. And finally, Hammerstone took the PCW Ultra Heavyweight title from Mil Muertes, two names we know. I want to talk about Hammerstone, man. I've watched this guy live twice over at MLW. And the one time I watched him, the last time I watched him, he actually injured. I think he had some type of leg injury, and they had to cut him short in the match. It was like some crazy 6-way match or something like that. But man, when that guy came out, like, yeah, we had some big superstars that came out, during that show. But when he came out, there was, I hate using that term, but it's so fucking, but it's that it thing that, wow, this guy's a goddamn star, pal. Is this a guy that AEW should go balls to the wall and try to bring in? Or do you think this is a guy that you think maybe WWE is going to steal and turn into a mid-card gimmick? What do you think, guys? Either one.
Hammerstone is, like you said, I don't know if it's the it factor, because usually the it factor denotes something that you can't put your finger on. Like, you don't quite know what it is. Right. With him, you know exactly what it is. You look at the size of him, you look at the look of him. Yeah. He definitely does have good charisma too, but I don't think charisma necessarily equates to the it factor, right? It's just that thing you can't describe. So you can describe everything about why you should hire a guy like Alexander Hammerstone. The problem is the WWE is like, their talent is really stacking up to the point where there's starting to not be enough spots like for guys to be at the top. And AEW has had guys like, well, what is Wardlow but another Alexander Hammerstone? But they don't really know what to do with guys like that other than put the smaller guys over on him. So he can get some good paychecks from AEW and he can get some good exposure. But with WWE, it's kind of a case of like, yeah, he's got all the goods, but who's that in for him? Like, who's his hookup there? He's just going to be another guy that has to prove himself, probably starting in NXT, even though he probably shouldn't start in NXT, right? I mean, what do you think, Lilas?
Yeah, I don't see him going to WWE, the main roster right now. And I mean, who's he going to go beat? Cody? You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to, Roman, any of those guys, Punk, he's not going to come in and be at that level. I just watched the NXT and they got Braun Breaker, right? So, I mean, they're not even bringing him up still to face those kind of guys. So I can't see him doing that. And you were spot on. Tony doesn't know what to do with the big guy. I mean, they've had chance after chance with Wardlow, dropped the ball. Now he's in another faction. I mean, I don't get that at all. So I don't think Tony might bring him in, but I don't know that he'll do anything with him.
Yeah, I think, but at the same time, I like his chances better at AEW. Now,
how old is he by now? Anybody know how old he is? I mean, he's been around for a little bit.
I think he's like probably like 34, 35. I think he's definitely mid-30s.
Now or never. Somebody's going to have to do something with him pretty soon. Or
somebody left a comment here, guys, and TNA is rebooting. Vet, you covered TNA with Brandon. And I think Hammerstone would be a great addition to that TNA roster, especially if what I'm hearing is correct, that they're going to be working hand in hand with the WWE, sharing libraries, so on and so forth. That would be cool. There's even a tiny little bit of a glimmer of a rumor that I heard that you may see AJ Styles pop up on TNA. With that being said, can you imagine an AJ Styles, maybe Hammerstone, one-on-one match on TNA Wrestling to kind of revamp and reboot that whole company? That's going to start this week, right? They have new titles and all that stuff.
Yeah, I believe it's Friday is Hard to Kill.
Yeah, I believe so. So your thoughts on Hammerstone maybe being a part of that new TNA roster, bro?
Oh yeah, they need a guy like that. That's actually perfect. I don't know why I didn't think of it, but Media M5 thought of it. While he was reminiscing about ECW, he remembered that TNA was a thing and that Hammerstone could go there. So shout outs to Media M5. But yeah, that's perfect. All signs are pointing to Moose being the guy over there, and he's going to need somebody to work with too. So that's another. Can you imagine those two sides of beef going at it? Like that may get some attention for TNA. Hopefully. So yeah, that's a good pick.
And he's, just so you know, on the 17th of this month, he turns 33. So he's 32 years old right now as we speak.
Okay.
So he's kind of young, still kind of young. How long has he been wrestling? I feel like he's been around for over 10 years, right?
Probably has. Yeah.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. I've watched him from MLW, like when he was in the Dynasty with MJF and Holiday and all that stuff. Like he definitely gets it. So this is the kind of guy that, like, Vince McMahon wanted guys like this probably back in the 80s, but instead he got, he'd get jacked guys, but they all had two left feet, like, bless the Warlord's heart, but, like guys like that. But what he wanted was guys like this that look like that, but were also able to, kind of get it done in the ring without exposing the business too much. So.
All right. Do you want to close out, Vaughn, and your thoughts on this on possibility of bringing this guy into TNA?
I'm out of the loop. I don't know anything about the WWE, TNA, whatever you said they're doing. I have no idea.
They may be working together very soon. So,
Yeah, I would think TNA could use anybody like that. Yeah, for sure. But if he went there though, they would have to, push him. He can't go to TNA and not go up, I don't think.
Absolutely. I mean, like Vet said, man, him in a feud with Moose over the TNA World title, I think would be money, man. But we always close out with notable birthdays, and some people we know, some people we don't know who they are. But we have born in 1945. I know you know this name, Vaughn. Colonel De Beers.
Oh yeah, sure. Colonel,
man.
The mustache gimmick.
Yes, the old racist gimmick. Pistol Pez Watley. That's a name I haven't heard in quite some time. But happy birthday to you, sir.
Pez Watley, the former tag team partner of Rip Rogers. Just to throw that out there.
Yes, sir. I don't know this name. Maybe I'm out of the loop. But Negro Casas. Never heard of the guy.
What? You don't know who Negro Casas is?
Maybe my father wrestled in Puerto Rico. I have no idea.
Probably did.
He probably did. He probably worked.
Yeah, that was no. He was he's a huge Lucha Libre name.
Yeah, I think Mexico. My father never worked in Mexico. Buff Bagwell, born in 1970. So yes, it's his birthday today. Go on Twitter, guys. Absolutely. Yeah, well, that's what they call Colin.
No, they don't.
No, they don't. Grandmaster Sexy, Brian Christopher. Rest in peace. And finally, Tamina Snuka, who I think is underrated hot, in my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about that. She has a certain look about her that I kind of dig, but I always like Tamina Snuka, man. So, give me a call, baby. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is time. And usually we play the theme song of the World Heavyweight Champion to kick off NXT. But I think since it's the Dusty Classic, we need to go this route.
American dream. He's just a common man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is NXT, January 9th, 2024. It is the Dusty Classic, baby. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the tag team titles, baby. They're gonna be. It's for the Dusty Cup, Daddy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have multiple tag teams in this tournament, ladies and gentlemen, and we kick off the show not with a Dusty Classic match, but with a tag team title match. Vet, take it away, my friend. Yeah, don't we kick it off with a tag team title match?
No.
It was a Dusty Classic match.
No,
it was actually a chick match first.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
All right.
Come on.
What do you
this is why I do this part of the show, Vaughn. This is where I take over. But normally we get a very itemized breakdown of the show, but because of our time constraints, we'll just stick to the basics here.
I'm going to shut the fuck up. I want Vaughn to talk most of the time. I want to hear his thoughts.
Okay, well, I'll still throw it to you, Ray, because I'm going to want to hear what you have to say, especially about this one, the chick match, as it was called, with Blair Davenport gets a win over Nikita Lyons with the Kamigoye. Blair Davenport, she came in as a big deal from England, and so she's uprooted her life to come to Florida and hang out with these people, like try to give people like Nikita Lyons an education. Nikita Lyons has like a lot of buzz around her before she got this devastating injury, and now it seems like she's slimmed down quite a bit. Wouldn't you say, Ray? Like, this is like, where'd your ass go? Is the first thing I thought, which that won't even be the last time I say that tonight. But, what'd you think about that, Ray? Like, you've been complaining about Nikita Lyons for a while.
I have?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
I mean, what happened to Nikita Lyons? You're basically saying what I'm saying.
Here's the thing, man. Nikita Lyons seemed like she got comfortable. She got very comfortable in her role. She was being put out there. Social media is going crazy over that ass or whatever, and she just, her body changed. Her work ethic in the ring changed. In my opinion, I mean, maybe I'm wrong here. This is what I saw on a weekly basis.
She did have a terrible knee injury,
but she did. But this was before the knee injury. Maybe the weight gain had some, maybe it helped with the knee injury. But Blair Davenport, man, I like her. I think you and I both have liked her. We think she has something there. She has that dirty, I want to spit in your mouth type of, look about, and which you're like, yes, please spit in my mouth. I like Blair Davenport. She's very tough. She's a good wrestler. I was shocked to see Nikita Lyons lose clean like that. So is this some type of test? They would say they're putting it through. What do you think, Vaughn?
Oh, I didn't know either one of them. I didn't know who won or lost. I thought it was a good match, action-wise. I thought they both brought it. I've seen a lot of, I don't want to say bad things about females, but I thought that it didn't look to me like it was a lot of just scripted match. I thought it was, hard hitting, a lot of action, good match, in my opinion. I got lost in the very beginning when they fight in the parking lot. Then they're coming down the ramp and the announcer says, this thing's been going on for 20 minutes. So then I rewound it, and they're in totally different clothes in the parking lot. Now they got all the ring gear on. So during that 20 minutes, they stopped and said, hey, let's change first? Like,
yes,
probably.
Yes, they did.
The whole thing off for me, and I wasn't too interested after that, but I thought it was okay.
Well, Vaughn, here's the thing. The NXT parking lot is allegedly the most dangerous place in all of professional wrestling. A lot of careers have ended there. So
that's right. As a matter of fact, Blair Davenport has tried to end a few careers in that parking lot herself, which is how this whole thing started years ago. But I mean, that's interesting. You could even have, like, even if you did say we were able to separate these two, but you were like, they were so hot at each other that they didn't put their gear on and they said, let's just go out there and fight. Like, we can't even be bothered to get dressed. It's little opportunities to do stuff that's different there.
Yeah.
And WWE just falls into like the same old, inside the box thinking. They don't, and there's some terrible stuff on this show that's very WWE centric. But yeah, even just like a little observation like that, like, okay, yeah, they calmed down and put their gear on and then went to have a wrestling match after they just had, a fight.
Well, first they were still fighting down the ramp or whatever. So it wasn't like that was just so dumb. That would have been awesome, like you said. If they would have just came in with whatever they had in the parking lot, street clothes, maybe one of them was half dressed, whatever, had some gear on. Yeah, that would have done a lot. I literally stopped because he said that, and they're fighting from the back to the. I rewound it, compared, and I was like, "Fuck this!" Like,
Yeah.
that's the first thing I watched since the last time I was on this show, and
Yep.
it turned me off right away. But whatever.
The time,
Nitpicking, I guess.
No, it's
No,
not
no, no,
nitpicking.
no.
No,
It's absolutely
please,
not.
don't say that. Me and Vet both agree, man. That's the shits. Like, I thought the same shit, man. I'm like, God damn. Like, it would have been cool if Nikita Lyons was like still trying to tie her shoe, you know, like put on her gear and shit. Have what she was wearing, and maybe like a fucking gear top and just regular bottom. She could have wrestled what the hell what she came into the arena with. I mean, looked better than what she was wearing during the match, in my opinion. But they're a Vet.
Yeah. So so like I said, Downpour gets the win. So she couldn't take another loss at this point. She was starting to be just a stepping stone. So you got to give it to Nikita, and she's always got the out that she's been hurt and whatever, and she's not back to full strength, whatever. Anyway, next major match is this is the first Dusty match. And you have Braun Corbin versus Gallus.
Well, didn't we have a Carmelo Hayes Trick Williams thing?
Yeah, but like I said, we're not talking about this extra
Okay.
stuff. We're just going to focus on the matches.
Right.
That's the only thing that matters.
Got it.
On this particular episode. So yes, this is one of those odd couple pairings. Now, Vaughn, this is what happened. They basically agreed that they don't like each other, but they're both badasses, and they would probably win if they teamed up. So they're doing a heelish sort of. They're trying to get you to root for heels, I guess, is the only way I can put it. But that was basically it. These guys are going to try to out douchebag each other all the way to the finals. And then only people that are less likable than them is this crew Gallus, which is just the cure for insomnia, in my opinion.
That's not fair. I wanted to hear what Von Lilas thought of Gallus without any of our, seasoning.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I'll give him the floor. I'll give the whole floor to him right now. But
not a lot to think about, really. I didn't. As soon as I saw him, I knew they were going to lose. I didn't even know who was.
Wow.
I mean,
you were right. Ding ding.
I had no thoughts on him. I don't care for him. I try to always see. All right, as soon as I see people here, what are they going to look like on WWE TV? And something I can see going there, and then I see those guys, and I just can't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah,
like I said, I don't know who they are at all. Maybe they were the champs for a long time. No idea. But first impression, I see him, I had nothing. So are Breaker and Corbin, are they heels then?
Yes.
I thought they were. Oh, they are. What everybody's still doing the barking and stuff. Do the fans still like Breaker even though he's a heel? Is that the deal?
Here's the Cliff's Notes version of everything that's happened in Braun Breaker's career. They pushed him way too hard, way too fast, and didn't give the fans a chance to make him feel like he's one of theirs.
Right.
They made him feel like he's the appointed guy. So they turned on him. So then they turned him heel, and now the fans like it. It's a very condensed version of what happened to Roman Reigns over 10 years.
Got it.
Very.
So my other question is why, and I think I saw Frank's Pickle Barrel ass say this earlier. Why is the Dusty Rhodes tournament a tag team tournament? Was he a big tag team guy that I forgot about? I don't understand why it's a tag team tournament if it's the Dusty Rhodes Classic. He wasn't.
That's a goddamn. Well, he was a 6-man tag team champion with the Road Warriors. So.
Well, I mean, shit. Come on.
Who wasn't, right?
I mean,
that's a great question.
Call it the what was the Midnight Rockers tournament or something, not the Dusty Classic if it's not a singles tournament.
That's some old school AWA shit right there, brother.
I mean,
I forget the reasoning behind it. Perhaps Cody explained it once a few years ago. I don't remember. They certainly don't do the WWE thing of reminding you and beating you over the head with it every 5 seconds if there is a reason. But
that's a really valid question, Vet. I never, over the years we've been covering this, I mean,
I'm sure he had a tag team partner, in his lifetime, but he was not known
as a tag team wrestler,
as a tag team guy.
Maybe he became a tag team connoisseur when he was working at NXT, and he enjoyed seeing developmental tag team matches, and then they decided to name a tournament after him in that respect. Who knows? I mean,
that was probably it. Anyway,
yeah, whatever it is.
Just something else that caught my eye there.
Marty Jannetty Cup will go over, no?
Yeah, him and Like he and X-Pac could present the trophy at the end.
Marty Jannetty.
the Marty Jannetty and 1 2 3 Kid Classic. That's what it should have been. All right.
Hold on.
Well,
We've been corrected. He teamed with Dick Murdoch, Magnum TA, yeah, but he wasn't known.
I get that he had partners, like, but if you think of his NW, I mean, it was him chasing Flair, like it was
the U.S. title daddy.
Didn't they win? Didn't like him and Nikita win the Crockett Cup, and that was like a big deal or something?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm way off, but I don't like.
That is it. That might be.
Even though Undertaker teamed with Kane, I don't think Undertaker is a tag team wrestler.
See, Elizabeth says it right there.
Let's change that. Let's give him a tournament.
Yeah,
let's give the Brothers of Destruction Classic.
Well, he did team with Brothers of Destruction, man. Well, no shit.
Yeah. Brothers of Destruction Classic. Book it. All right. Here's what else we're gonna book, because this will be the only non-wrestling match thing that we discuss, and we could talk about the whole story thread of Ranch Hand Tiffany Stratton. I don't know if you just skimmed the show, Vaughn, or if you actually watched any of this, but if you did, please.
I skipped every one of them, and then one of them came on. Like, didn't they do this like 4 times?
Mm-hmm.
I fast forwarded them all until the end when they were all standing around like watching her, and she fell into the water or something. I didn't watch it. Didn't get it.
Good man.
Yeah,
So
that's well done, sir.
I just watched the matches.
It's fair. So, Von Erickson and the Freebirds, this was not. It almost made you feel like you hated the people that were the good guys. Like, Vet, am I wrong here? Did you not feel sympathy for Tiffany Stratton?
No, but what was that giant guy that wasn't Josh Briggs sitting in the background there? Like, get this guy a contract.
Hell yeah, pal.
Like, what is he doing? Brushing horses in a stable. He needs to be in the ring kicking ass.
But it's so lowbrow, guys. It's hot girl shoveling horse shit. That's the joke. Hot girl shoveling horse shit and cleaning horses. And what was the thing with the sponge when she had to clean the horse's asshole or something like that? Get the fuck
something like
out
that.
of here.
With bad, loud, royalty-free music playing underneath all of it.
Yeah, pretty bad, guys.
Yeah, pretty bad. And then if she falls in the water, like you said, and like that's the thing you should be most happy to fall in is water after that day. But apparently that was the worst thing in her life. So I guess she doesn't shower. I don't really get it. Okay. Let's not talk about that anymore. Let's talk about actual Josh Briggs. Taking on Oro Mensah here. This was just sort of a filler match. But Josh Briggs he's been a prospect. I guess the WWE's had their eyes on him for a long time, and maybe now they're going to finally do something with him. Now, Vaughn was talking about, hey, I look at a guy and my first impression is, can he be in the WWE? Did you get any sort of that from Josh Briggs here? He's pretty tall.
Damn.
Yeah.
I
don't want to come on here and just
please
be honest.
Please blast.
Like you were talking about the it factor earlier. Yeah, he's big and stuff, but of course he's big enough to be in WWE. I just didn't think he was like it. Like I didn't see star on the guy. I just thought they went 100 miles an hour. Once these matches started going, I don't know if you guys realize that. Like every match, it was like no tie-ups, no nothing. Every match started out with punches. It seemed like to me this one started out 100 miles an hour. The crowd was dead silent. There was nowhere to go after that. And I don't know, a lot of yelling and screaming and punching, and that's about all I saw. I don't know. Am I wrong? Tell me.
No, you're right. You're so fucking on point.
You're not wrong.
Scary. It's funny how you don't watch this product. Me and Vet, we review this product every single week. You just watch this match, and you say what we've said every single week that we do this. They don't take any time. They don't develop a story in the match. They just fucking go. Spot, finish. That's it. That's what every match is. I like Josh Briggs. I think there is a little something there. But my thought is, Vet, what do you think about Oro Mensah? Is that a superstar coming or what?
No.
Pink, no. Okay.
Well, they need to tape matches before Raw, so main event will always be looking for guys, and Oro Mensah might be one of those guys. There's a thing that I keep bringing up, and I'll just bring it up again since Vaughn is here, since he'll appreciate this. But you know, there was the story that Kevin Nash tells about going to visit the PC, and he's sitting there watching the matches with Shawn, and he says to Shawn, geez, like, slow the fuck down, am I right? And Shawn says, this is just the way things are now. Like, if you try to do a test of strength in front of one of these crowds, they will walk the fuck out.
Right.
I believe that's the story that Kevin Nash tells. Which
do you think that's a thing though? Like guys like because everybody's the attention deficit thing that these young kids are going through.
I will answer that right now. No, it's not. What it essentially is, the way Lilas is describing the pace of these matches and just how they're all kind of the same, it's a form of hot-shotting. Essentially, you're trying to manufacture excitement, but what you're doing is you're burning people out, and you have to keep raising the bar. This is why, this started kind of with ECW with a lot of this stuff. You ramp up the violence, you ramp up the pace, you ramp up all this stuff, and there's nowhere to go. And eventually people get conditioned to that, and they're like, okay, I've seen that, what else? And the ceiling gets hit way too early. So all these people are like, they're worried about people changing the channel or, whatever. And so they're trying to manufacture this excitement. Or, even worse, talking about the way the show started with these chicks fighting in the parking lot and then going in to have a wrestling match. I mean, that's a problem all across the wrestling business. And since you watch probably as much AEW as anything else, Vaughn, you can clearly see how you're trying to sell wrestling matches with fights.
Right.
Which is backwards. You're using fights to sell sporting events, and the fight is supposed to be a little more rare so that it means something, so that you really get, but if everybody's doing the same thing and everybody's trying to kill each other, whether it's in the parking lot or whether it's pile driving each other on the apron 50 times or whatever it is, eventually people just get tired of that. A Canadian destroyer on the floor is going to be the new armbar at some point. So
yeah. I agree. And my comeback to that too would be to Shawn Michaels, I guess, would be, okay, then why is the crowd dead silent then? If this is what they want, you go back and watch that match. There were times that it was dead silent. They're sitting there punching the hell out of each other, and there's not a sound out of the crowd. If that's what everybody wants, then why is there silence?
Well, they have that canned crowd noise there. Yeah.
Just crack open a can of crowd noise.
Hey, I want to rewind though. I did watch the in-ring promo that we skipped over with the females. Who's the girl in the pink that came out? Didn't we skip that? I think I had it written down.
He's talking about Lola Vice.
The girl in the pink that came out. I like that girl. Who's that girl? Tell me about that girl.
We all like that girl.
Okay, all right. Now the other girl was saying she was like a fighter or something. Was the girl in the pink like the MMA fighter or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The champion is not the MMA fighter, but she has the power of flight. Apparently,
I need to go look her up. Then was she any good in MMA? Did she have real fights?
Yeah,
she did have real fights. I don't know how good she was because she's a pro wrestler now, but but you could definitely look her up. You probably won't be disappointed.
All right, that's all. All right.
Yeah, Lola Vice. All right. So yeah, but yeah, this is getting to be an issue though. So I mean, your analysis is spot on. These people are sitting on their hands because they've already seen it, And essentially now, what's getting over in wrestling apparently is if you watch Raw and SmackDown or whatever, it's sing-alongs, right? Like when a guy comes out, you sing with his music. So people are now, WWE's getting record crowds and everything so that they can sing along with people's entrance music. They can sing along with Cody, sing along with Seth. That's what's fun. It's they've moved on from the crazy moves and violence. Now they're into singing. So
I just wanted to just for you, sir, Mr. Von Lilas. She's number one. She's 25 years old. For 1998, she had a great record, man. She was 4-1, and the one match she lost by decision, she won 2 by knockout and 2 by decision. So the girl could fight. So there you go. She was a flyweight, and looks incredible on her Instagram and TikTok, and look her up, man. Lola Vice.
Oh, I'm going to. Don't worry.
I know you
don't have to tell me twice. Yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah, she's fine, man. That girl has
my wife's not watching this show today.
No, not today. Well, my wife.
No, my
or
wife,
any other
not
day.
Your wife.
Shit. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So all right. So next we have Out the Mud versus the Tony D'Angelo family.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
these guys, they were tired.
They were blown up. There were some big dudes though, man. Or they knew they looked green, but I liked them. I liked their look and everything. They were blown up, and you could tell they were green, but I liked them together. I liked their look. They're in NXT for a reason. It is supposed to be developmental. We're not supposed to really be watching this on national TV, I mean, for all intents and purposes, that's not how it was originally slated. I think they would be awesome if, I'm sorry, I'm just cutting you guys off right now, but
No, please.
I just would look at them after one match, 10 minutes, whatever it was. I think it would be like seeing, some of those old OVW guys, they always talk about, like, I'm not comparing them with Brock Lesnar before everybody starts blowing me up in the chat. But if you saw Brock in OVW, which I did, it was night and day difference between seeing Brock and you needed not to see him go through this developmental at the time. These guys could be the same way. I don't know. I liked their look. I liked how they worked in the ring. They did get blown up. Yeah, they fumbled around a little bit, whatever. I'm assuming they're green, and give them a couple few years, whatever. I think they could be really good. I don't know. What's the take on them? Tell me what they're really like, or how long they've been there, or whatever.
The same, right? But
yeah. Well, this is actually the worst they've ever looked.
Oh, really?
And I'm gonna put that on the Tony D'Angelo guys because.
But this was also the longest match they've ever had.
Yeah, but still,
Time-wise.
like even so, like it still wasn't that long of a match, and a lot of it was this other kid, the Stacks or whatever, just being in the wrong place all the time. He's
the skinny Italian guy.
Yeah, so it was just it's not their best outing. They've looked better than this, but this was a sloppy match overall for a lot of reasons. And of course they had to get the low bridge spot in, which is my absolute favorite. And that looked like shit too. Yeah. But yeah, these guys, ex-football players, they got their gimmick, they got their look. They've actually looked like, and you've seen a ton of guys that used to play football and then get in a wrestling ring and are like, ow. We both experienced that, but definitely these guys, their stuff looks kind of good, but it also, to us, it would kind of look a little bit safer than the normal ex-football player guy. So yeah,
I'll say this, and maybe I'll get blasted for this. I don't know, because that Dijak dude, he's back in NXT, right? Like people like him again or something. I read or whatever.
Maybe.
I like these two guys. Because I think maybe the last time I watched it, or the Dijak and the male model were like a tag team or whatever. At one point in time, weren't they the tall dude from the male models? Weren't they Mace and what's his name?
Yeah. They were doing.
They were in Retribution.
Yeah, they were
Mace and T-Bar.
I think Mace and T-Bar. I like these two better than them. Just seeing them for 10 minutes.
And so do we.
There you go.
Okay. So do we. Just so you know, these guys have been they've been wrestling like not even 2 years.
Yeah. They're just signed. So
they literally just started wrestling, Vaughn.
Okay, yeah. So tell me about Tony D'Angelo. Is he? He's been around for a while, right? A little bit. Is he a WWE star in the making?
How you doing? He was. He was.
Okay, well, he's also relatively new. He had like a collegiate background. I think he was what was it, Buffalo that he wrestled?
Buffalo,
yeah. So he started doing this Italian gimmick, and then he's been hurt a few times. So I guess his development is a little bit maybe not where they want it. But he's going to be all gimmick anyway, right? Like that's basically what it is.
I like him better with a hat on.
With the hat on. Well, why is that? Is it because of his independent wrestling haircut?
I don't know. I don't know. I always thought I'd see commercial like promos on him, and when they're advertising NXT, or if I read, I thought people were real high on him. Am I wrong on that?
They were. The problem is that they watered down that Italian mafia gimmick so much, and they made it kind of silly. And there were 3 guys. One of the guys got fired, went to AEW. I forgot what the hell he does over there now. And then you have this kid that's like 20 years old, with a terrible haircut and skinny jeans. He's supposed to be the underboss. It's just not a believable gimmick. It's turned too cartoony. Are they over with NXT? I think they are over with the crowd. The crowd likes them. Me and Vet, when he first came, I would safe to say we really liked them a lot, but they changed the direction of that mafia gimmick. They went from very serious, almost dark, to cartoon mafia guy.
I think we liked him ironically. I don't think we genuinely liked Tony D'Angelo, but like you're saying, with all the terrible stuff that we have to watch on this, we'll latch on to anything basically, you know. But I mean, you know, there's no character progression. You know, like he supposedly became the Don of NXT, but he's still just, you know, he didn't start dressing in suits or any different or get a haircut or anything. He still just looks like a bum from, you know,
leave it like this,
Bensonhurst or whatever.
They had the whole, you know, Cosa Nostra, what would you call it, Vet? Like a ceremony in the ring on TV. Let's really think about that.
With some AAA hockey player.
Yeah, it was.
Let's never. You know what? Listen, we don't have time to talk about.
Yeah, don't talk about that.
Let's move on to the next thing, which is Cora Jade. She picks up a win over Gigi Dolan. Now, Ray, you've been really vocal about you've enjoyed this new Cora Jade, and you've been talking about how you keep saying how she looks thicker and bigger and better and all this stuff. But after seeing her here, I'm like, what are you talking about? Are you blind or am I blind? Because you know how Booker T says, you know, no bread, no water, no meat, just bones and silicone. That's
bread and water. All right.
Yeah.
Aesthetically, I will continue. Aesthetically, Cora Jade, I think, looks better. She's more tan. She's more she's built. She has the new haircut. You know, she's no longer dating Braun. They would, by the way, Braun Breaker and Cora Jade were an item, and apparently they've broken up. Who cares? I don't care. But the horny wrestling fans will care. Now she's single. Oh, we have a shot. All right, buddy. But she comes out. She has the look. In ring, her and I got to tell you, Gigi Dolan, the gear she was wearing this week was much better than what she's been wearing over the last 3 years. She's been in NXT, I think. I don't see any progression in her wrestling ability, Cora Jade. Look wise, yes, but do you have to be a great wrestler to become a star, Von, in the WWE?
No.
There you go. What do you think, Vet? I mean, am I off? Like, do you disagree?
She lost too much weight.
You think she lost too much weight?
Yep.
She's cut. She's strong, bro. What are you talking about?
She's rail thin now. I don't like it.
Okay.
Right. Ron, any other thoughts on this?
Did you like either of these girls?
I hate to fast forward female matches, but I had to get to the last match before this show, so I didn't want to.
Okay. All right.
That's fair.
Fair enough. All right. So then we'll skip over the that would mean that you probably had to skip over the Axiom and Fraser over Seth Rogen and Jack Black.
Wait a second. So in my notes, I'm not looking at my phone, by the way. I'm looking at my notes.
Uh-huh.
So for that Axiom match, all I have written down is an A. That's all I have.
Oh,
so
good.
I got the first letter of his first name, and who was that against? Say that again. I think I might have watched it.
Hank and Tank.
Hank. Oh, that's another one. Surely they lost, right? They had a loss.
Yes, they did.
I saw Hank and Tank, and I already knew they were going to lose.
You didn't think those guys would win?
I knew they were going to lose. Did they? So they did lose?
Well, Hank and Tank,
sure did.
They were the power guys. They were the power wrestlers. They slowed the match down. Axiom and Frazier were going 1,000 miles a minute. It was an interesting match of two different styles. I don't think it was terrible, Vet. Your thoughts?
Two big dudes can never beat two little dudes. It never happens.
Never. No, they'll get blown up worse than Out the Mud did. Yeah, there's no chance. You can't catch them. I will say on that note of, Von predicting these finishes, just as a funny side note, on my notes, I wrote Josh Briggs over Oro Mensah, parentheses, clothesline. And I wrote that when he still had Oro Mensah in a headlock. I just wrote it early and got it out the way. And wouldn't you know? It's like I've seen this stuff before.
Does what's his name? Remember Jay Bradley?
Oh yeah.
Remember Jay Bradley?
He's a cop in my hometown right now.
Does he remind you of this kid, Josh Briggs, a little bit? That's what I kind of think about when I see Josh Briggs, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Not me.
No? All right, maybe it's just me. With the boomstick, remember he used to do the fucking clothesline and everything? No?
Yeah.
Kind of same
Is
build.
it just because he's wearing that long sleeve? Is that the only thing that...
I don't know. Build-wise, I don't know.
All right, so the main event. Brian Pillman Jr. versus Dragon Lee.
We're here.
Senior. You know, I'm sure Vaughn is going to probably have a similar note, but when these guys came out and stood like face to face, you know, for the championship introductions, I was like, well, these guys should be in the Dusty. Like they're basically wearing the same gear. It's black and yellow here. So, you know, why aren't they a tag team?
Wore the same colors.
Wow.
Now, here at the Performance Center, I wonder if they have more than one set of gear with them, like if there are indeed lockers there or anything like that. So you could just walk out and be like, oh, you're doing the, oh, okay, hold on. Let me go in the back real quick and get the other color. Didn't think to do that at all, like at this level.
I mean, you'll probably get people saying, well, The Rock wore black tights and Randy Orton wore black tie, you know, whatever, trunks. But yeah, I mean, when you come out both in the black and gold, like, I don't know. They look way too similar for me to be in this match.
Maybe they'd be a tag team. Maybe they'd be a tag team.
They should have been in the Dusty Rhodes Classic, baby.
Sure. Why not, baby?
All right. So, you know, I'll fast forward to the end before what?
I got to ask Vaughn. Vaughn, you got Brian Pillman Jr. here. Now, I know you've watched him on AEW. Do you see an evolution of this kid's character in ring stuff? I was really interested to hear your thoughts on this one.
Well, I did fast forward. I saw he had some backstage stuff with all the look like signings or something. I fast forwarded all that. I don't really like. I don't mind the story of him not wanting to use the Pillman name. I'm fine with that. I don't really like the name Lexus. I don't want to offend anybody, but it just seems more like could be a girl's name, possibly
like a stripper, right? Like a stripper.
So I'm not a big fan of that. In the ring, I didn't see it. You know, he had to get his AEW spot in where he was on his knees telling the other dude to hit him, and then he stood up, and then they exchanged the chops with no selling. So he definitely had to get that AEW moment into that match. I was kind of surprised. I thought it was a title match, though, right? So I thought something might happen. He just took kind of a flat, clean finish, right? This match, I think
he did. Shocker.
Have they been pushing him? Has he been winning matches in NXT?
50-50.
You're talking about Pillman now?
Yeah, Pillman. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say 50-50.
So they didn't bring him in to be like a star then?
No.
Well, they did. He just hasn't won every single match.
Okay.
So this is what's going on in NXT. Like much like Nikita Lyons, we're seeing people lose clean.
Right. Which I don't have a problem with.
Right. It's not always. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Right, Vaughn?
Yeah. I don't really have a problem with that. I guess I've just seen so much other shit that it just is kind of weird to see people just lose. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. We're desensitized to. Yeah, I agree. And
especially like a title in a main event title match, you'd think some kind of distraction, something would have, you know, but no, I didn't have a problem with that.
Well, there kind of was a distraction. You had some big
Native American they did
you came out, so I guess you can throw that out there. But,
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we all did. Go ahead, Vet.
I guess what works for Pillman's taking the angle of like the character wise, I mean, not him personally, but like they're going with the angle of this guy is trying to weasel his way into stuff that he doesn't deserve.
Right.
So when he does take a loss, it's not that big of a deal because nobody thinks he should be there in the first place. He's just inserting himself into these situations like, hey, you had to win, you know, like he tells Obafemi in the back, hey, you had to win this whole tournament to get a title shot. I just went and got one. So you're an idiot, basically.
He's the manipulator of the brand.
Right.
That's
So, you know, that backfired because here comes Obafemi and he's going to cash in his little money in the folder to
money in the folder.
Yeah, to get the North American Championship, and he gets it.
He sure
Obafemi
does.
gets it. He shot puts Dragon Lee and power bombs him, and then we have a new North American champion now. So this guy is fresh off winning a men's breakout tournament, Lilas. That's where he came from. So they just had like a rookies in the tournament. He just won that.
You're breaking up a little bit. You're breaking up.
Okay, am I back?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, he won the tournament. Now he's got his championship match. He could challenge for any title. Could challenge for a world title. He could show up at whatever hospital Dragunov is in and take that title, but he went with this one, and so the fans get a nice little, this is a little bit more unpredictable. Usually WWE doesn't do stuff like this.
Right.
So it was nice, I guess, but yeah, with the little bit of screen time that Femi got, Vaughn, what do you think of this guy?
What did you think of Obafemi?
He was big. How big is he? Anybody know?
He's a very big man.
Well, that was the thing I thought maybe you were going to say in the beginning, because I don't know all these titles. Didn't the other dude have a title too? But anyway, that match was for a title. The first thing I thought was, is this a heavyweight title? Because you got, what's his name? Dragon Lee is not real big. Pillman's not, real big either. For today, he's fine. But...
yeah, it's just their secondary title.
So when
it's
you
just
see
their
these two,
intercontinental,
it's like, okay, is this really the two big dudes for a title match? But then the other guy comes out, and I'm like, yeah, this is, and he just killed the other guy. I'm like, yeah, this is what it should be like.
Well, he's a shoot 6'4", 273 pounds. See, he's 22 years old, from Lagos, Nigeria.
Oh, he's only 22.
He's only 22. He's
wow.
a big African boy. He's very strong. Very strong.
He was impressive in the little part I saw.
He's a baby.
Yeah.
A big giant baby with muscles, and now a title. That's my Nigerian accent.
Yeah, and you can stop doing that anytime you want.
Oh, sure. I like watching fan videos,
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
I definitely think once again, we've seen guys like this that are way worse than this fucking guy is. So I don't know. They are really turning over these new recruits at the Performance Center at an alarming rate to be like passable for television. Like, are they WrestleMania main eventers right now? No, but damn, like, how many rotten guys have we seen that they just wouldn't give up on and just tried to push and push and push and couldn't get anything out of them? And now these guys are just blowing them out of the water on their first day, basically. So if this guy can learn to work, he'll be a force to be reckoned with.
I love what
that is the thing.
I love what Vaughn said. This should have happened. 100% this should have happened. You got your champion, who's a tiny guy. He's very fast, Dragon Lee, but you got this 6'4", 300-pound monster coming to the ring after this guy's had of course he should have shot put him across the ring, slammed him to the mat, and taken that belt. Absolutely. Vaughn?
But it's weird though when something happens that should happen. I guess that was my whole takeaway to some of the things on this show. Is like, holy shit, you just beat him. Like I don't know. I guess I'm used to so much other shit now that you don't expect the expected or what should happen visually or whatever it is I'm trying to say. And then it happened. I was like, oh, it's kind of cool.
It was kind of cool. It was good. So in retrospect, what did you think of this? And it is developmental TV show.
Oh, what I think of the show?
Yeah, in general.
I probably won't watch it again unless you guys ask me to be on here. But
damn,
I didn't think it was like terrible. I'm not real familiar with it. And to be honest, too, I don't want to know. I would rather, and I really don't watch as much WWE as I used to. I would rather be surprised by guys coming on and not knowing and watch them the last 3 years on NXT. I'd rather see them the first time. Just think of that. Well, you guys will think of the territory days when they didn't have the internet and they didn't have national TV. When I watched Memphis wrestling, like when the Undertaker came in as Master of Pain or whatever the hell his name was, and they would bring Kamala in and even Andre, anybody in that you're not used to seeing all the time.
Sure.
I don't want to watch NXT and watch a guy wrestle for 3 years and then that's just my personal personal thing. I'd rather just see them when they come on.
I get it, man. It's like I watched Butch Reed in the NWA, and there's a reason I'm bringing up Butch Reed, because he was one of my favorite guys coming up. I thought he was another underappreciated guy. Butch Reed coming up, watched him in the NWA, watched him do the anyway in Memphis and all that stuff down south. He comes to the WWF, they paint his hair yellow and they make him a mid-carder. I thought this guy would be a world champion when he came over, so it was kind of disappointing. So I get the whole, and I knew about Mean Mark before he was I was like, wait a second, that's Mean Mark.
No, I'm talking before that. He wasn't Mean Mark in Memphis.
What was he? What was
I think he was the Master of Pain. Look it up. You got your little Google machine right there.
I
think he was the Master of Pain. Look him up in Memphis.
Let me see. All right, go ahead. All right, Vet.
You're thinking like WCW shit,
right?
Yeah, that was already. Well, there's a big conversation to be had about this. It would be very interesting and enlightening. We just don't have the time. So overall, though, I totally get what you're saying. It's better to see the one good difference now that the Vince McMahon.
You go, Vet. That is the Master of Pain in Memphis.
Master of Pain.
Don't fucking doubt me on this shit. Master of Pain.
I never doubted you.
No, somebody in the chat, the same dude that said I didn't know that Mean Mark tagged with Danny Spivey. I mean, give me a fucking break. I don't care that he had other tag team partners. He's not a tag team wrestler.
Pal.
Don't get off that shit.
Yeah.
That's right. Don't worry. We'll book we'll get the skyscrapers tag team classic.
Oh, yeah, get that tournament in there. Now the Undertaker's this big tag dude. I mean, shit. On top individual or singles for 20 years in WWE, and everybody's trying to tell me he's a tag team guy. Team specialist. Undertaker, tag team specialist, baby.
Look at it this way. When you think of Shawn Michaels, even though he was a great tag team wrestler, he's fucking Shawn Michaels. You know what I'm saying? He's Shawn Michaels. He's not remembered. I mean, he's remembered as a tag team wrestler, but that's not his thing. So come on.
Well, more than I would put him more than the freaking Undertaker. I mean,
sure. How about the Shawn Michaels Tag Team Classic?
Ooh.
Book it.
Midnight
Ride. Yeah. How about the let's wrap this show up Tag Team Classic?
Yeah, we could do that. I'll hit the music.
All right.
Oh, Mike Martin's threatening me in the chat now.
Yeah, well,
getting threats.
Is he?
Yeah, man.
I don't think it's very smart. Just gonna put
first
that out.
Lila Studios in studio guest Mike Martin.
Yeah, Mike. Where do you live?
Just type the address in, and then maybe social security number,
just
so we can verify.
Me on Master of Pain too. Shot that down real quick.
That's what Mike does, man.
I'm just here to get fans, guys. That's all.
Please. Well, speaking of fans, speaking of what you do, can you please remind us where we can watch you guys on a weekly basis? Do you guys have any big guests planned, and any maybe something different that's moving down the line? Tell us about what you're doing, man.
Anybody that doesn't care to get their feelings hurt, because we don't sugarcoat shit and we don't care who we pissed off. Wrestling with Rip Rogers on YouTube, baby. Every Friday, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, whenever it is. This Friday, we got the world famous Outrunners coming on. Spin to win, baby. Yes. Look for them on the AEW, ROH, all that good kind of stuff. And on our show, Wrestling with Rip Rogers, Friday, they'll be on at noon live.
Now, is this Turbo and Floyd, or is it Turbo and Floyd and Truth? Will you have all three of them, or all two of them?
Every one of them.
All of them?
Yep.
Okay, good.
That's awesome.
I'll be there. Yeah, you guys ain't going to want to miss it.
No, you're not gonna miss it.
Just like you're not going to want to miss everything I'm doing over at HMG, whether it's this show, The Impact Attack, every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern with Brandon, or if you're going to watch anything about AEW Collision, you're going to want to see The Wreckage with myself, Jimmy T, and sometimes Chris Ames, and that's every Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. So I've got all your wrestling covered. Wrestling with Rip Rogers has already been covered, and Stevie Richards, Wrestling Analysis, Fitness Channel, everything Stevie Richards is doing. Check that out. Podcast too, right?
Yeah, guys. Well, first I have to thank Mr. Von Lilas for suffering through this week's NXT. Man, thank you.
I loved it, man. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
I wish we could have done this show for 3 hours, but that would have been painful for you. Listen, thank you for all the content you provide with Rip Rogers. I've had phone conversations with Rip Rogers, and they can go on for a long time. So the fact that you can kind of wrangle him in, and it's incredible. It's an incredible thing. But wonderful. Oh, speaking of Rip Rogers, says there right here. Here we go. We just put this up there. What is this? Thanks, EBS.
Airman Shlomo.
Yeah, he gave me a compliment, man. He said,
Pal.
Most underrated podcast host on YouTube and one of the best. I would
Absolutely.
agree.
You got to put that over, man.
One of the best voices on the podcast game. I'm
I
gonna
don't
put
know
that
about
over. Nah, seriously.
You're
dude.
number
Anyway.
one, baby. Doesn't get any better
stop
than
it.
Big Ray Hernandez's voice. I can tell you that right now.
Would you stop? But listen, guys, thank you. You can follow me on social media at Big Ray Hernandez every Monday through Friday. I'm on TikTok and Instagram, and I give you, pro wrestling thoughts every Thursday. I give you my favorite pro wrestling memories every Friday, my Friday favorite finishing moves. I've been really trying to put over the TikTok. It's kind of growing almost at 1,000 in a very short time. So thank you guys for supporting me there. Please go over. If you don't have a TikTok, download it, follow me, and never go back again. I'd appreciate that. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us here every single week. I love you guys. And in the words of Bill Apter, we'll see you in the matches. We'll see you at the matches. And the words of Ben Hameen, heels over strong. Jinder Mahal, over and out. We're out, guys. God bless you guys. Stay safe and keep watching wrestling. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Media Group from Rip Rogers. This is the Hustler Rip Rogers. Yeah, it's fucking me. Yeah, and listen to the fucking Hameen Media Group. That's Ben Hameen Media Group from Rip Rogers. Go get him and go fuck yourself.